Welcome to Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie, a Planting Positive Seeds podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie. And I am so excited for tonight. We have an amazing guest that will be on, one that I've known for a very long time, but it's always good to have, individuals to come on and talk about their journey, talk about their life, and just, to know what's going on with them. And so I am going to bring in my guest, Miss Tamika. How are you?
Hey, LaDonna, I am so good. Thank you so much for allowing me to share this platform with you. My God, it's been so long. And I mean, we have been talking about for years. Like, okay, we're going to do something together. And
right.
Here we are.
I am so excited. I was sitting here and I was just like, yeah, me and Tamika, we've known each other. I know she had her books out. I watched even when you got married and everything. We were posting different things. I've seen you start your podcast. We'll talk about that. It's just so many amazing things, and even your speaking journey. I remember, prior to COVID, before this, I would always see you on Instagram and you were going places. And I think one time, I had even seen you had sold like your first 100 journals or books or something. And I was like, she is getting it. So I'm like, I'm honored. I'm humble. It feels like home because I know you, we interact. We did the video and stuff together too. Okay. So, but tell my guests, just introduce yourself. And, I have so many marvelous things to say about you because, hey, like I said, I know you, but introduce to some of the listeners, just tell them, give them some, different things about yourself.
Yes, absolutely. So, as you said, my name is Tamika. I am an author, inspirational speaker, transformational coach, and a podcaster. I have my own podcast as well.
Yes.
And most importantly, I think my most important jobs is serving the Lord first and foremost, and being a wife and a mother. I have a beautiful blended family. God has blessed me. Me and my husband just celebrated our 2-year wedding anniversary, and together we have 8 children.
Oh, that is so amazing, Tamika. I'm like so sisterly proud of you and like a friend because and you like you said, God first, your husband, your children, you're dedicated to your work as an author, your books, and just, helping people to, be more comfortable with themselves and come out of different things that they've gone through. So it's just like, like I said earlier, I'm honored because it's just like, I love to see, ourselves, women, authors, different people following their dreams. And then, with the books, with the inspirational speaker, being a transformational coach, is that you're helping other people to, be who they were destined to be. And it's just amazing that we could, get this opportunity, to do our show, to talk, to be on the same show for once. And so I'm so happy about it. And happy anniversary to you and your husband. So that is so great too.
Thank you, sis.
You're welcome. I'm just like, I got so much to say. So tell me this, what inspires you to do what you do? You got the podcast, with the books, and just what inspires you to do what you do? I want to hear it from you.
Yeah. So, initially, I think when I first got into this work and I first started doing the speaking and the coaching and the writing and all of that, what inspired me was really, it was coming from a place of pain and almost like resilience, right? Because I had overcome so much. And you know, I'm very transparent. So I talk about a lot of the trials that I've coined the frame, God has turned my trials into treasures. So I don't call them trials anymore. I call them treasures. So I believe that was the initial thing that inspired me. But now I've shifted, and I am inspired just by the mere fact that God has given me the gift to inspire others. So when I see people, like that, just I don't operate from a place of pain or from the you know, the past anymore. It's like, my God, I'm able to speak into people's lives, and then the spark comes into them. I have some clients that have, you know, the Bible talks about our children are supposed to be like arrows and they shoot them out. I also believe when we're doing this type of work, we have that same kind of like parenting, you know, where people that we nurture and then they go far beyond us. And I thank God that there's like no comparison, there's no jealousy. It's, right?
I love that, because, you know, like you said, I moved from motivating, you know, saying that word so much to, like you said, inspiring people. Because I used to, when I started this, I always would say I aspire to inspire, because I wanted to every day, whoever I could talk to or whoever I, you know, God sent my way, because I would always look for opportunities, God opportunities to speak into people's lives. So like you saying that is like what it's all about. Like I've learned that, and I love how you've coined, you know, your slogan, because, you know, I've turned, I think I said I've turned mine's into lessons. So everything is like, it's like lessons, but it's like, because every one of my books, my transformation end up being lessons, and they're lessons to help people. Like, you know, like you said, it's not pain, it's helping someone to not have to, you know, saying, experience what you experienced, whether you're sharing your story, whether you're just a shoulder to lean on, or you're giving them some inspirational nuggets that come up, you know, through the Holy Ghost, just by you talking to them. And so I'm thankful that you're sharing the space where you get to inspire your clients, you get to inspire your readers. So, you know, kudos to you for being you. For being you. So I also wanted to ask you, I know in the beginning of the show, I was a little heavy, so I already talked about some highlights, but I know that you have your own special highlights that are near and dear to your heart, some highlights or some achievements that you have accomplished, you know, over the years. And so could you share with me like some of those, or some important moments that you just want to share with our listeners? Because on Planting Positive Seeds, we do plant, you know, positive seeds in the lives of others. And so I do it by serving, by showing them that, you know, like you said, we're authentic and we're real, and that, you know, all of us are going to, you know, encounter things, but we can overcome. And so just share with us some of your achievements.
Absolutely. So I want to start by saying there's this story in the Bible in Luke chapter 18. And it talks about this lady that she's a widow, and she keeps going to this judge like day in and day out, right? She keeps going to this judge and almost like bugging him. And he tells like the courts, this woman is wearing me out. Basically, that's what he says. He said, and I'm not afraid of God. I'm not afraid of what the people. I'm just so sick of her coming to me. And so I'm going to grant her request. And then God goes, so Jesus is actually telling this parable. And then he says, so imagine how God is. If this man, he's a wicked ruler, so he was a wicked judge, and if he's a wicked ruler and he grants the request because this woman is constantly going, imagine what God can do for us if we constantly go to him and we constantly, you know, fall before him and tell him like, Lord, I need this. So I say, I preface that with that story because that has truly been how my life has been. So anytime I have these God downloads, right? Where God tells me, okay, Tamika, do this. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. Or, and I'm going to keep coming to you until I can figure it out. I'm going to keep coming to you until you bless it. I'm going to keep coming to you until you open up the windows of heaven. I'm going to keep coming. Yes, I'm going to keep coming. So some of those highlights, I'll kind of start where I'm at now, and then I'll just kind of go backwards. This year, 2020, we all know, we ain't even got to talk about the Rona. We all know she up here acting up, right?
Exactly. That was all separated and in the house.
Yes. But at the beginning of this year, before I was along with everybody else saying, 2020 new vision, God gonna give me 2020 vision. And he, I was saying, I was proclaiming that. Yes, clarity. I was proclaiming that like everyone else. And so God told me to turn off all my social media and just to really listen to him. So when I did that, he gave me the idea of a 21-day gratitude journal, which is what you were kind of alluding to at the beginning. And so I'm like, well, Lord, I ain't never wrote no journal. I've written some books, but I don't even know where to begin or how to, and I am an avid journaler. I know some people are like, I don't like writing things. I have to write it down because this head of mine, yes, I gotta get it out. Yes. So, in January, I started the process of writing a journal. In March, just by the unction of the Lord, because I kept going to him saying, Lord, how am I supposed to do this? Lord, how am I supposed to do this? Lord, how? And he gave me like the exact steps. In March, I posted the first, post, like, okay, I got this journal coming out. And I didn't have graphics. I didn't have the beautiful background. I literally just got on my phone and I said it. And I said, I'm going to start doing pre-orders. I put my phone down. 10 minutes later, I had 10 pre-orders. And I was like, girl. And I was like, oh my God. Right. I didn't even have the structure or anything. I knew that God wanted me to do this, and I knew that it was going to be a blessing. So my launch was supposed to be on April 4th. I was able to get the journal created, launched. By April 4th, I had 250 pre-orders.
Wow.
And yes, and year to date, all glory. And year to date, so now we're in August, and I've sold nearly 400 of these journals that literally I just listened to the voice of God. So that's one of the biggest, I've never done that before in any of my other projects. So amazing. Amen.
Again, right there, you see how important it is for us to obey God, and when we hear that small, still voice, that unction. Because that's what I tell people all the time. They be like, LaDonna, you have like 11 books. How do you write all this? I was like, I've been listening since I was like 14. So whenever he says, I'm like, okay, pen in hand, I'm ready. So it's like when he says, we're going to write this, I'm like, I'm ready. So congratulations to you.
I
had the hand clap, you know what I'm saying? We would be clapping. But I just want to say congratulations to you. I'm so proud of you for just accomplishing that, following your faith, trusting God, and him, showing you, giving you the desires of your heart to put that gratitude journal into the hands of people who needed what he had given you to give.
Yes. So, thank you so much. And I think other than that, I believe something that your listeners will appreciate. I'm not sure the demographic or, the audience, but this is something for the sisters. So previously from me being married, I spent a season of singleness. I was single for 6 years. And I was frustrated, right? Because I'm like, okay, Lord,
I'm listening, sis. I commented on your post a lot.
Listen, I'm like, Lord, I'm okay. I'm pretty. Holy. I'm doing everything right, God. Like, where the husband?
Hear my cry.
Hear my cry. So I spent this year of singleness, and what I started to do again, by just listening to the Holy Ghost, I started writing posts to my husband. So I would say, dear future husband, and I would say all this cute stuff. And then I went back to my journaling my journaling, and I started journaling every night for about 6 months. I would just journal. Like it was almost like a love letter. And so when I see people say like Sierra did this prayer, I was like, honey, please, I did that years ago. I did that way before Sierra. So I just started writing letters, and it was really just by the unction of the Holy Ghost. And I would talk to my husband like about my day, or I would didn't have a boyfriend in sight, didn't have a date in sight, didn't have nobody in sight. I truly didn't. And as I just surrendered to God, and as I listened to God, and as I became the wife that I knew my husband needed me to be, without me even knowing him, like I literally had no clue who this man was. I just became it. I literally became the wife that I knew he would try to. Yes. And so, again, very quickly, God moves with me very quickly. So my husband inboxed me. He did. He slid in them DMs.
Okay.
Yes, God sent them. It wasn't because I had some ones that was counterfeits, right? And I had to push them away. But it was a different way that he approached me, that I said, this is different. So he messaged me in September. We went on our first date in October. He proposed to me in December. We were married in July. So it was literally.
I'm over here smiling ear to ear. I know this is like a podcast. Y'all gonna be listening, but I'm over here smiling because this is just amazing. Tell your story, sis.
Yes. And there's just one part of the story that I want to share. So when we went out on our first day, I prayed and I said, Lord, I'm tired. I'm tired of, guys being fake, or, just wanting one thing. I said, Lord, prove to me that he's the right one. And so I said, you know how sometimes we do God, we try to act like he's a magician, right? So we'd be like, let this happen or let that happen. So I was like, Lord, let him come to the date with all these flowers. And so we pull up to the date, and this man ain't got no flowers in sight. And I'm like, I knew it wasn't God. Right. And so I got a little attitude, but he had 2 bags, and I was like, okay, well, this is odd. Like on a first date, this is really odd. And so he presented them to me, and he said, some women expect flowers, but you deserve a lot more.
Wow.
Sis.
Come on. I got the real clap going.
Man, I was like, if that's not God, and literally, the story is just amazing. Like how God has perfectly blended our family. We have our trials, we have everything that other people have, but it's been so easy. And that's what I believe. The Bible says the blessings of the Lord maketh rich and addeth no sorrow.
That's right.
When it's God, it ain't gonna be no toil. You're not gonna have to deal with craziness. It's just not gonna be. And so those are, besides, man, I could go on, and we will be on this podcast for hours, but I want to say those are the 2 that I really feel can just motivate people to keep going to your God and keep going, making your petition known, because if that ruler in the Bible, that evil ruler would, grant that woman her request, how much more would a good father, a good God do for us?
Exactly. Give good gifts to his children. Well, you know what? That was so amazing. Like, I am so thankful that you shared your story with the listeners and also with me. It gives me hope. I'm excited about the possibilities of, it being God's way. And, I had been married before too. And so, I'm in my 7th year of singleness, but I know that I want to, I'm waiting on God's timing. And like you said, becoming the wife, because I have a friend of mine who, she'll say, LaDonna, she was like, when you fix your children's plate, fix your husband's plate, just a spot, So just like what you were saying, in becoming in that, that role, because I've been out of that role for a long time, but becoming more in that role and, coming out of the single season. So you've helped a lot of listeners, a lot of the women, that will listen to the show. So we thank you for just sharing your amazing, journey with us, because, it's just been amazing. And being able to see you all on social media, and you can see the love, just there in your heart and your smiles and stuff. And so I'm excited for you. So one of my next questions were, I wanted just to share with us, I know we want to keep it upbeat, but I wanted to just share a moment when you had to overcome an obstacle, because I've always found that people think that they're the only ones going through situations. And so maybe some of those, people that you inspire and you speak into their lives, you have to, be authentic and share, some one-on-one times with them. And so just with the listeners today, can you share a time when you had to overcome an obstacle and come out, victorious, but you still had to go through it?
Yes. So, oh man, this is actually, although this may seem like it's a part of the show where we kind of talk about the bad stuff, but this is actually some of my favorite stuff to talk about, because I often say, this is what qualifies me. It's not it's not the degrees, it's not the certifications, it's not the books that it's written. It's this stuff that qualifies me to walk into who I am today. So without, again, because I could take up all day talking about the trials that I've had to overcome, but I'll just start with my parents. My whole life has been, one trial after another. My parents were 15 and 16 when they had me. Okay. My mom was addicted to drugs. I'm the oldest of 11. I have 10 younger brothers and sisters. So being the oldest, being in that environment with a drug addicted gang, and my mom was very heavily into gangs, to the point that we were all removed from the home. And luckily my dad was the one that I went with. But I was hit by a car at 6 years old, molestations, all, so many things that led to me engaging in very unhealthy activities. But I feel like one of the biggest things that I overcame, and it's amazing because when people see me, they don't even believe the story, but at 32 years old, which was 8 years ago, I had a major stroke. So I woke up one morning and got my kids up for school as normal and fell out right in front of my daughter. She was 4 years old, had to be rushed to the hospital, spent the next 2 weeks unable to talk, unable to walk, unable to do anything. It didn't have any activities of my limbs. So when the old folks, say, I thank God for the activities of my limbs, I understand that now. Yes, I understand.
I think I said that today, and I prayed that last night, for my children, because I was born, brought up in the Baptist church, so I think I have a lot of those things within me. So I pray.
It's a real thing, so I literally, and the stroke came as a result from me being in a extremely abusive relationship. People say, because I was healthy, I was at my prime, I worked out, I did all, ate right, didn't eat any red meat. So there was no direct relationship to why I had this stroke, except for the stress that I was under. I was in a relationship where he was extremely abusive, and this man was a minister, quote unquote. And he lived one way in the church and he lived another way at home. And it caused me to have some significant stress, to where my brain literally just shut down. It said it couldn't take no more. So overcoming that, because as I sat in that hospital bed, I didn't have the activities of my limbs. I couldn't talk. I couldn't do anything, but what I could do is pray. I could pray. And so I would pray and I would say, Lord, please get me out of this. I said, I don't care if my face is distorted, because, there's definitely effects of the stroke. I said, I don't care if I have a limp, or if I didn't care about any of that. I just needed to be out of that hospital so that I would be able to continue to do everything that he has called me to do. And from that point on, literally when I got out the hospital, there was some, definitely rehabilitation that I had to go through, but I made up in my mind that I'm going to live a life to inspire and not impress. And that's what I do.
Well, I am, thank you for that powerful story, sharing, your the things that you had to overcome, because like you said, that is what qualifies us. And I think a lot of people sometimes feel, and I think I said that in my just recent podcast, that they don't have to go through anything, but the process is what qualifies us. But we thank the Lord that he brings us out, and he brings us, to a new place, and he does a new within us, and we're able to help people, with our stories of triumph and with our stories of overcoming our obstacles. So thank you again for sharing it. I know a lot of the listeners will be able to find jewels in that, because they see that you are empowered, you're inspired, and you're using those things to help you help others. And so they'll want to grow from where they are and know that they don't have to stay stuck, where they are. And so thank you for sharing that. So I just wanted to ask, like, what do you do outside of business? Because I know we do, author life, and maybe this could be just something fun that you do, because we wear many hats. Sometimes women, I know I wear a lot of hats. So what do you do outside of business, like fun? How do you relax? How do you, get that time and that me time, the quality time to kind of keep yourself, going strong?
Yeah. So, it's funny because years ago, I didn't know that Black people did this, but I am an avid hiker. I love to hike. It is one of the ways that I'll get up early in the morning, and I have like a mountain range behind me, and I have other little mountain ranges in my neighborhood, and I love it. I absolutely love getting out, working out. I love to work out, but when the gyms and all that closed down, it was like, okay, I got to find another way around this. And so I began to hike, and I found so much joy, where before I would be like, a snake or all of this, and I'm just like, I love it. And my sisters and my family, like, girl, you are crazy, but I absolutely enjoy it. And I think maybe I like it because nobody likes to go with me. So it's like my me time.
You have some little solitude, peaceful mindfulness as you walk and as you hike. So thank you. Yeah, because you don't really hear a lot of people saying that they hike, but I know that that's a good pastime. So that's something to do. So Tamika, this has been an amazing time laughing and catching up with you and everything. Listen, we didn't even get a chance to talk about the video. You remember when we did the
oh my God, that was so fun. So we did the don't rush, but we made it saved and sanctified.
Right, exactly, because it's gonna be big.
So we used Pastor Mike's big song, and it was me, LaDonna, and I think like 5 other authors. That was so much fun. We got so many views. I was like, this was so much fun.
Exactly. It was so fun because, of course, I like recorded my video probably like 20 times just to, try to get it right. But I thought it was so fun. You know what I'm saying? For us as authors to get a chance to like show people, like what we go through just preparing, or it was so cute. And so I enjoy doing this. So thank you again for just inviting me to be a part of, with the fellow authors to get it done, and the women making things happen. So yeah, we've done a lot. Tamika, I'm gonna have to have you to come back on the show, because I'm so excited. I think that we could go for so much longer, have so many more things to talk about. But right now, what I want you to do is I want to thank you for coming on, and I also want you to give your information or what's coming next, like anything that you want to let the listeners know, how they can find you, your website. If you have a program or something that they would, you would think that would benefit them, this is your time to shine, and go ahead and plant those seeds.
Thank you so much. So I actually have a 3-series quotes journal. I love quotes. God has given me the gift to kind of like write out quotes. So I'll have 3 of those quote books coming out. I also have 3 programs in my coaching program. So I have the Journey to self-love, healing, and dealing. And we're rooting up like all that stuff from your past that maybe has caused you to, be stuck. And then I also have the Author in You journal or program. So if you're an author out there and you want to become an author, I help you through that process. And then I have a group coaching program. You can find all that information at www.tuesdaywithtamika.com. My podcast is Tuesday with Tamika. That drops every Tuesday. And yeah, that's it. You can find me on social media at Tamika_Thomas everywhere. So I'm really active on Instagram, but I'm also on Facebook, Twitter. What's the other one? Snapchat, but Instagram is my home. That's where I like to be.
Right. Well, I am so thankful for you, like I said, coming on the show again. You all make sure that you go by her website and check her out on all of those social media platforms. I thank you for coming on Planting Positive Seeds, Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie. We've been here tonight talking to Tamika. And so I'm thankful. Make sure that you like the podcast, share it with a friend, and leave a message if you want to be aired in one of the podcasts. Leave a message as you come on. So I want you all to have a blessed and grateful night. Thanks.
This has been another purpose-packed episode of Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie, a Planting Positive Seeds podcast. Please remember to like, share, and tell your friends about the podcast. Stay tuned for many more Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie.